through, sure, it's feeding through everywhere else. Because you didn't tick it. You didn't tick it. Right, I can't text you. I've just disabled RTMP. You didn't press, you didn't click it in destinations. It should be now on. Check Facebook producer. For God's sake. Elaine, is it live on Facebook?
Facebook producer. Signed in as.
Live sport now. Elaine. please. Check it. Here we go. Yes, it is almost game time now. It is West London Eagles taking on London GD. A little bit apologies there. Signal can be a little bit difficult here, but we were just trying to get things going. But we are almost ready to get things underway. Here come the players now, looking good, aren't they? Just getting themselves up. Let's just have a very quick look at the lineups before we get things underway for the West London Eagles women. We have Naomi Bell, Anisa Begum, Erica Hoda, so Wing Hang Hugh Quingland, Brindella McDonald, Victoria Pawlowski, Erica Exer, Maria Surrey, Lucas Arbo, Anna Thornhill, Katarina Bukowski for the London GD, London Great Dane. Let's have a little look at the lineup here. Here is the squad goal. We've got Nicola Zedabibo. We've also got Marion Wheeler, Eva Salinas, Alex Mayer, Mate Perez, Christina Lopez, Tanya Corti, Just Rosanna Waite, Julia Jacobson, Julia Kaufman, Francesca Graham, and Kajat Sunday. Now, I'm delighted to say I am joined by Jack Oliphant on comms. Jack, it's great to have you back again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ian. It was an exciting time to be a handball fan in England, I think. We've got plenty of opportunity to see even more of this great sport on our wavelengths, obviously, thanks to Live Sport Now, yourself, and England Handball employing this sort of 18 games live over the course of the year. This one's a fantastic game to start us off as well.
Yeah, it certainly is a cracker now. I don't know if you remember, but we actually did this game earlier on in the year as well, last season, back in January. It was a 25-all thriller, isn't it? And of course, we've had a lot of the players are lucky to have made it, a bit like us, because traffic, it's been a bit of a nightmare, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's a potential reason why we're a little bit late to the broadcast, and that is due to the London traffic. Those rail strikes, I think, caught us out a little bit, haven't they? But we're here, we're ready to go, and the looks of it, the players, the referees are ready to go, and we're starting the first game of the season. Yeah, goodness me, Park.
We are fantastic. Now we are underway. It's GD on the attack, as you can see. Now, do have your say. We can see your comments throughout. If you're watching on the England Handball Association YouTube channel, get your comments in. If you're watching over at Live Sport Now, we can see your comments wherever. So please do show your messages of support. GD looking to make an early start on the attack here. What are we expecting from this game, Jack, so early on in the season?
Well, if the last game's anything to go by, then we're expecting a bit of a thriller. What we can see is the referees are going to let this one go in terms of physicality. Plenty of opportunity to get involved early on here, and yeah, it's first game of the season, but they're not looking like they're shy from the challenges, put it that way, with GD having the ball turned over. It looks like West London Eagles this time to get hands on the ball, get tack on the ball, and get going and get up to speed themselves.
Absolutely. So for those new to handball, where have you been, first of all? But talk us through. It's half-hour halves, isn't it?
Half-hour halves, and as the first goal of the season goes in, it's the number 13 for West London Eagles, and that's Witowska on the right wing, right-hander on the right wing. Always difficult to score from that angle, but they've managed to make it work. Yeah, 2 30-minute halves, normally averaging about a goal a minute in total as well. So 30 all by the end of it. It's sort of the rough average when we're looking at top-tier level handball. As we said earlier in the season, or last season, it was 25 all between these two teams. So we're expecting a high-scoring game as GD moved the ball well, with a strong defence by West London Eagles means that they make the foul. GD retain the ball, but it's not a goal. That's the important thing.
No, it's not. So GD still on the ball, trailing 1-0, early stages, of course. I'll be surprised if it's 30 all, but you never know. It was 25 all last time these two met earlier on in the season as well.
With GD moving the ball around, trying to weather the storm of the West London Eagles defence. Is a long shot by the 26 of GD. And that is, I think that says Julie, apologies. The GD is handwritten. The GD names on my sheet are handwritten. It makes it a little bit more difficult to read them out, but we'll do our best over the course of the game.
Now, we are here for, of course, the Women's Premier Handball League. We've got a men's game coming up a little bit later as well. That throws off at 4:30. We've got a little show at half-time.
Oh! Great shot there. We mentioned early on that they've got a right-hander on the right wing. They've certainly got a strong left-hander at the right back, though, as the number 23 for West London Eagles sinks one into the top right-hand corner. That's Brindell McDonald. Fantastic shot.
Yeah, it certainly was. There's been a bit of a restructure as well for England Handball over the last few months as well. The league has completely changed, a new structure. This is split, hasn't it, north and south. This is actually the Southern Premier League. Of course, next month we're going to be heading up north, at your neck of the woods, actually, Jack, aren't we?
Yeah, we are indeed. Yeah, for once I won't have to drive the 200 miles down south to London.
Well, I better get my passport renewed then, because anything north of Watford is a bit unsure for me.
Life gets a lot easier. Life gets a lot easier once you go north of the M6, honestly.
A bit cheaper, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Penalty now to GD. It's the responsibility of the 18. Great save by the West London Eagles goalkeeper. That's the number 16. That's Erica Hodisi. Great save there. Filling the goal nicely. GD's penalty taker couldn't find a way round. Great start. Good confidence boost there early in the game and early in the season for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. I've been very impressed with Eagles so far on the attack early on.
Great pass.
Season finished third in the Women's Premier Handball League. Olympia, another London team, they were champions last year, so we know there's plenty of ability within the Eagles team. In fact, they've had a rich history, 23 times national champions, 24 times national cup winners. There's a lot of pedigree here, isn't there, Jack?
Absolutely, yeah, they know how to win, and they're going to try and use that experience. They're using it well so far. That's the second goal of the game by Witowska. I mentioned they've got a right-hander at right wing with Witowska. It doesn't seem to be phasing her at all, though. GD are giving her quite a lot of space because it is difficult to shoot for the right wing with your right hand. Maybe they'll start closing up that space a little bit more as the game goes on, because she's clearly a threat.
Yeah, as I said before, please do get your comments in. We can see them wherever you're watching. We are broadcasting across Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, you name it. We are everywhere. We're bringing handball to the masses in 2022 and 2023. 18 live games across the course of the season, across both the men's and women's. Is it going to be 4? Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, penalty there. It was a good pass over the top. Maybe a little bit hesitant for the goalkeeper, but they managed to get it to the hands of the attacker. And then I think it was a save in the end, but the shot was almost stopped, and that caused the penalty. So the 23 of West London Eagles is up to stake it. That's McDonald, and that's her second of the game. 4-0 to West London Eagles. So GD's turn now to try and get a hold of this game, get back at it. We've seen bigger gaps than this be closed up in handball. It only takes a couple of minutes, a couple of fast breaks to be able to get back in the game, but with 5.5 minutes gone already, this isn't how GD were hoping this game would start, and they're trying a few trigger movements now, but the strength of the West London Eagles defence is, well, putting a stop to it pretty much immediately. They got left-hand side wide open, they ignore it and go to the line, and the GD team managed to just about suffocate that attack.
Well, it's a stark contrast to last year, isn't it? Because it was GD who ran away with the game in the early stage, right up to half-time. It was the Eagles who had to come back in the game, but so far it's roles reversed here today.
That's the way handball is. It's one of the best things about sport. It's one of the best things about this particular sport as well. With the margins so fine at the top level, great pass through to the 88, but throws it straight in the ground. It was Christina Lopez. Maybe just, the thing is, there's a lot of tack on this ball. That's something that if you're not used to it in the early stages of the game, that's why you see them passing it around slowly now, is to try and get used to the grip of the ball. Giving Christina a little bit of an excuse here, but I think maybe she just didn't expect how much tack was on that ball.
First game, we must reiterate, first game of the season for both of these teams. In fact, it's the first weekend of the main season, isn't it? And what a season that we've got in store for you. If you want to find out more about the England Handball Association, how you get involved, there is a link in the body of this broadcast. Wherever you're watching it, please do check it out. You can get all of your fix of the men's and women's Premier Handball League, but also regional leagues as well, and how to get into the game. If you haven't got involved in the game, or you have and you want to get back in, make sure you click that link to the EHA's website. It is well worth it. Here we go, GD on the attack, but it looks like the ball gets moved over once again, and I have to say I've been mightily impressed with the Eagles, Jack.
Yeah, the Eagles' defence has been solid. They've been able to snuff out pretty much everything that GD have thrown at them. That time forcing them into an error and throwing at the legs, but that time the West London Eagles attack wasn't good enough, and for the second time Christina Lopez is through on goal, but this time she makes no mistake, not trying to bounce it in or anything like that, straight into the bottom right-hand corner.
Now, it's taken him 7.5 minutes to score the first goal, but as we can see, it goes quick and very quick, doesn't it? Still well in this game, there's still a long time to go.
Absolutely, yeah. It's 4-1 now, but it's a good example of how it could have been 5-1. All of a sudden, 10 seconds later, it's 4-1. Sorry, 5-0. 10 seconds later, it's 4-1, and that is the speed of handball. It's why it's one of the most exciting sports in Europe. It's one of the most popular sports in Europe as well. And again, West London Eagles, who seem pretty impenetrable in terms of their attack earlier on, turn the ball over and have to look for their goalkeeper for another great save. That's Odyssey. Again, she saved a penalty earlier on. She's saving a fast break now, having a good game.
Yeah, by the way, if you are just tuning in and unsure who's who, GD are in the red. We must say this, Eagles are in the blue. Eagles actually the home team. We're here at Gunnersbury Park Sports Hub. West London, hence West London Eagles.
Yeah, don't know whether that was in the area, whether it was a charging foul. It looked like it could have arguably been both. By the looks of where the free throw is, it was a charging foul that the referees decided to give.
Now we've got a little reminder coming up at half-time as well of what happened last time these two did meet.
That'll certainly be worth tuning in for, because it was pretty thrilling, wasn't it, Ian? And it's one of the reasons why you got quite hooked on handball and wanted to supply the coverage for it, wasn't it? It was a bit of a baptism of fire for your first look at handball, but I'm glad you fell in love with it. Hopefully a lot of people at home are as well.
I'll tell you something, actually, I played it at school, and one of the issues I had was I didn't know where to go from there. It suddenly just stopped at school. So this is why we want to get people involved in the game. As I said, do click that link to the England Handball Association's website. Well,
great goal.
And lovely stuff.
Yeah, and that was McDonald again. So this time she'd done a little bit of a cross, a bit of a trigger movement with the third team right winger, and which is obviously Witowska. They clearly have good connection, and the left hand went all the way over to the right wing, and this time managed to sink the goal from the widest position.
Super stuff, GD. Really kind of need to get cracking, don't we, in this game? We're approaching the 10-minute mark already. Oh, lovely stuff.
That was a bit more like it, a bit more crisp, a bit more movement, conviction in the attack as well. I think they're getting a little bit of confidence, but a great step by the number 8 and an even better save by the GD goalkeeper. Can't quite see the number on the top at the moment, but we'll be able to give props to the 28, I believe that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's Weiler, isn't it, in goal? Great save after a really good step by the number 8 for West London Eagles.
So here we go, Eagles on the attack again, leading this 5-2. Early stages, of course, in this game. Just under 20 minutes of the first half to go. 30-minute halves. We have roughly 10 minutes in the break, and Jack and I have got a few features coming up at the half-time mark as well. Don't forget, a little bit later too, we have the Men's Premier Handball League game, the season opener, again, between the West London Eagles and London GD. End of the month as well, Jack, we've got a very special show, haven't we? The Handball Hits highlight show from the month. You're going to be joining me as co-host for that one. And we're going to recap the whole season of the month and see what's happened, look at results. What a goal that was.
Yeah, I think arguably that one's going to be in the highlights as well, to be honest. A standing shot from that far out and nailed into the bottom right-hand corner. Goalkeeper didn't have a chance. I don't think she really expected it. Sometimes that's the best way of attacking these things. Do the unexpected in handball, and quite often it'll come off for you.
Absolutely, I like that. Do the unexpected. You just never know, do you? Certainly the off-season has worked wonders for Eagles so far, but it is a tight game once again. At one point, Eagles were 5-1 up. GD have managed to pull a couple back in this game. Very simple if you are new to the game. A goal is just 1 point. That's how easy it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds simple, doesn't it? It's clearly not that easy, though, as GD's defence have finally started to turn up, been a little bit more aggressive. What we've seen, the West London Eagles, they're trying to force it to the line a little bit, and they're throwing sloppy passes like that away. I think that's probably about 4 in the last 5 attacks that they've given the ball away just in those sort of situations, forcing a pass rather than trying to let it organically grow and create trigger movements and create passage of play.
Absolutely. So what can GD do here now? They can pull this to just 1 deficit if they score here. Tight game, and of course the rules are you've got to be actively pushing, showing signs of attacking intent, aren't you?
Absolutely, and again, it's a rule I love. So there isn't technically a shot clock, but it's up to the referee's discretion. If you're not seen to be attacking, if you're basically trying to waste time passing the ball around your half or towards the back of the court, the referee can put up his hand, her hand, and it'll be passive play. They'll get 6 passes, and then you either shoot or the ball gets turned over. We haven't seen passive play just yet. You don't often see it, to be honest, at the top level, because we are all out attack here in the sport, and again, it's why it's quite enjoyable to play as well. There's no excuses to waste time. You need to be going.
Yeah, here we go. Eagles once again on the attack. Starting to approach the halfway stage of the first half. It's such a quick game, isn't it? Look at that great attack, surely. In it goes.
Another great fake by the number 8 of West London Eagles. That's Victoria. And yeah, a great step that she saw the goalkeeper save a little bit earlier on. She did a similar step there, took 2 or 3 players of the GD defence out, left the line player completely open, which was the number 11 of Naomi Bell. And a simple finish for her in the end, but another good shot there. Again, a standing shot by the number 7. I believe it's Corey in the number 7 for London GD in the centre there. So yeah, we're starting to see the style being turned on here, Ian. We're starting to see a little bit more conviction, a little bit more of a flowing game, and a lot more even game as well at 6-4.
Yeah, we certainly are, aren't we, now? There's a little to choose between the two, and it's actually quite a physical game, handball, isn't it? Surprisingly so.
Yeah, well, it's yeah, certainly physical. There's a lot of contact in it. You have to face up to your opponent as well. But there's one way you can get the ball back by not making any contact, and is if the ball is thrown at a feet of the opposition player. But yeah, there's plenty of contact. You've got to be sort of chest on chest, or between the ball and the goal, basically, and anything you can do to stop it. You can't go for the legs. You have to stand up and torso-to-torso style contact. So it can hurt if you get it wrong. That's why it's so important to teach the right technique from the early age.
Absolutely. Now I can see over to our left, actually, we have Paul Braid. Just as GD actually score another one, the deficit is now down to 1.
Yeah, that was Crowsguard for the number 21 of GD. Yeah, Paul is here, probably silently judging our commentary and broadcasting techniques of this sport, because Paul obviously covering Champions League for years and Olympic handball for years. Nice to have him down.
So let's stop the clock, because it's a timeout.
Yeah, so if you want a bit of a rundown, if you're new to handball and you don't really know what the rules are in handball particularly, well, you're allowed 3 timeouts per team in total for the game. You're allowed 1 in the first half, 1 in the second half, and 1 that's sort of floating. But you're not allowed to use 2 in the last 5 minutes. Okay, so that's sort of roughly how it works. If you don't use your first half timeout, you lose it. You can't use 3 in the second half. And so yeah, it can be very tactical of how the coaches use it. You can sort of see that. I think that was West London Eagles who potentially blew that timeout, and the reason for that will be because they were all of a sudden were 4-0 up. Now it's 6-5. They've lost the impetus. GD have the momentum. Absolutely,
yeah, well said there. It's a tactical game as well, isn't it? And yeah, you can see Eagles perhaps needing just to get back to that early 5-minute form where they raced into a 4-0 lead, didn't they? And it sounds like we're almost going to get back going very shortly.
Yeah, I mean, the timeouts are only 1 minute. You really do need to, as a coach, be very concise and be a fantastic communicator. You need that in a lot of sports, say football and everything like that as well, or netball or rugby or anything. But when those timeouts occur, you really do need your players to get in, get quiet, start listening, and then you can exchange the information as quickly as possible. And yeah, sometimes you do need to be very concise. Sometimes it's only a little note that the West London Eagles need. I mean, to be fair, it's just a lot of unforced errors that have seen the ball turned over so far.
Yeah, absolutely right. Here we go. We are halfway through the first half now. It is Eagles just edging it at the minute. It's 6-5. Back underway now on court. Here we go. Let's get that clock going again. And it is Eagles with the ball, looking to get a 2-point lead again. Early stages of the game. And the season, of course, what a save.
Great save, wasn't it, by the GD? And that's, again, almost a war of Victoria, the number 8 for West London Eagles, and the number 28. As GD almost won the ball away. But the goalkeeper for GD having a great game in those one-on-one situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Is the momentum changing? One thing I love, actually, Jack, being up here is there is actually quite a decent and a big crowd up here.
It's a good atmosphere, isn't it?
It is a really, really good atmosphere, yes.
It's, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It is technically the Clash of the Capital, is what we advertised it as before.
Oh, we had 2 last season, didn't we?
We did.
We had 2 Clash of the Capital Part 1, which was this game, and we also had Eagles against Olympia as well. So we're well versed actually with the Eagles, aren't we? We've spent quite a lot of time covering them.
Well, they've been a fantastic club to work with, haven't they, as well? They were very receptive when you came to them. It does help, Ian, that you live about 5 minutes away. You want to drag me down from Leeds to come and do it as well? I'm only kidding. I'm more than happy to, obviously.
Jack, we're coming north next month. I do know Birmingham are in the North League, so.
Yeah, I mean that's a bit closer. It's within 2 hours, so I'll take that. Trying to run through a gap there, but always difficult for the right way.
So it's still Eagles with the ball. 14 minutes left to go of the first half. It absolutely flies by, doesn't it? 2 30-minute hours. Remember, do have your say. We can see your comments. We want to hear from you. Get involved with us here for the Men's and Women's Premier Handball League. It's quite a shot from quite a way out there. Maybe not the best tactic.
Well, I think it's mainly because the centre player was forced back so far by a very aggressive defence of the number 7 from London GD, who scored a couple of standing shots already so far. Good aggressive defence by West London Eagles as well by McDonald, who took that shot that we just mentioned. But yeah, when the centre gets pushed back that far, I think they went with 2 lines as well, West London Eagles. There was a very much of a lack of options for the right back for the Blues, so it was only one sort of solution she could come up with, and that was try and shoot before turning the ball over.
No, it's still 6-5, and it's been 6-5 for a few minutes now, so the goals have dried up until, there you go, commentators just called it there. There we go.
You're saying commentators curse. It's still a thing even in this sport, isn't it? Not just motorsport, but...
Well, not a curse for the Eagles.
No, that's true. But yeah, so that was, again, GD forcing that aggressive defence, almost going 4-2 on the West London Eagles attack, but that time McDonald actually found a pass to the left wing. Bit of a risky one, but it can be very effective, as we just seen.
Yeah, it can now. GD on the attack, and another great save. Keepers really make a big difference. I must say, Nick Lamont over in the pink, one of the refs here today as well. Very experienced. In fact, he just seems to be everywhere. Whenever there's anything handball related, Nick Lamont's there, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's only a few handball refs that we'll be seeing in the Premier League because we're trying to chain them all the time. But Nick is certainly one of those refs who've been there, done that, bought the T-shirt, and that's why he gets these sort of gigs. There's a good penalty by the number 7. Mentioned her quite a lot already for GD, and I want to say, Corey, if I'm getting that wrong, then blame the handwriting on the team sheets as the ball is turned over again by some aggressive pressing on the backcourt areas. GD have suddenly, all of a sudden, started to get their tactic, and maybe that was what was mentioned in the timeouts. Oh, now there's a 2-minute suspension here, Ian. Okay. I would love to tell you why I wasn't looking at that particular part of the court. I'm going to guess that was some kind of handling of the opposition player. They stood next to the line player, but I didn't actually see it, unfortunately. But what I can explain is what happens at a 2-minute suspension.
Please do.
So yeah, it's basically the player goes off for 2 minutes, so the team that player was on is down a player, only for 2 minutes. After that, they can come back on the court, or you can send someone else back on. Good block there in defence.
It was, wasn't it? I thought tactics, actually, because this is really interesting. We saw it, didn't we, at the National Cups quite a bit. Sometimes they take the keeper off, don't they, and put a different player on it and really go for it.
Yeah, so that's a way to sort of counteract that, to potentially bring your attacking force back to full fruition. West London Eagles aren't deciding to do that. It does leave you with an open goal, and you have to be really quick on the substitutions, which is a rolling sub. And again there, the GD, though, without that line player, without that threat, they can push up and create, leave the space behind them and force West London Eagles to go wider, and that is the space that they can expose at the other end as well. But it was, I'm not sure if that was a save or hitting the post, but GD wasting a chance there.
We have a very excitable Eagles fan just off to our right.
We do indeed.
It's so nice to see up in the balcony here at Gunnersbury Park Sports Hub. Look, if you are in the area, by the way, and want to come down, please do. It's free entry to come in and watch. We've got the men's game coming up. That throws off at 4:30 as well. We'll be live for that one too. So come on down if you're in the area. We'd love to see you here. But it's so nice to see so many people supporting the Women's Premier Handball League here as Eagles once again on the attack. The last 5 minutes or so have been really low scoring. Just as I say that, again the Eagles go and score. So really, it's commentators' curse for GD. I think the Eagles might be thanking me.
Yeah, well, that one, GD went for the aggressive defence. McDonald saw that, expected it, managed to step and break the aggressive press, and was got to the 6 metre line. Once she does that, by the looks of it, her left arm is lethal. So there's a reason why GD are trying that to press her back as far as humanly possible. That time didn't work, so the team that are down to 5 players in attack actually managed to get the goal there.
Yeah, we've actually had a message come in as well. Lilana Silva says number 7 is Tanya Corti for GD.
Corti.
Corti, number 7.
Apologies, I think I've been calling her Corey. So Corti, I was close, missing one letter as GD score again.
No, thank you very much, Tanya, for that. So do keep your comments coming in. We can see them.
Come on, Eagles!
It's important we get Corty's number actually correct, name correct as well, because we seem to be talking about her all the time, having such an influence in the middle of the court, both in defence and in attack. As West London Eagles back to full strength, I believe, so they've tried some of their movements, they've managed to move the ball. There was one more pass that should have gone to the left wing. It didn't, and that was a forced shot and went over the bar. The ball's been turned over as GD looked to counter quickly, moving the ball around, moving the defence as well through the gap. Good defence in the end. Yeah, it was a wild one, that, wasn't it, from the Eagles, and it's now GD looking to, if they can score here, they'll actually level the game for the first time. Let's not forget they were 4-0 down early on in this game. They're really pulling it back, aren't they? We've still got 8.5, 9 minutes or so to go until half-time, so a lot of this game to go. Second half, 30 minutes as well. At half-time, we're going to have a little look at the divisions as well. And oh my word, there you go, 8-8, they tied a game. We're going to have a look at the regional divisions at half-time, and I wonder if we can grab Paul Bray for a word as well. Yeah, it's Teresa Perez, I believe. That name is written pretty clearly, so I can't blame the writer if I got that one wrong. It's just my butchering of other languages, as most English speakers are doing. I have promised the bench that next time we cover one of these games, I'm going to get in touch with them early and ask them to spell things out phonetically, so we don't butcher these names, because they're absolutely... I tell you, I must apologise to everybody as well. When I was reading out those squads, I probably got about 2 names right. Yeah. So I apologise to both players. Heavy hit there, heavy contact. As we say, handball is a physical game. People might not realise it, but it really is. But everybody's up. Eagles on the attack, looking to reassert their authority. They had a very, very fast start, a lightning start. Big hit. But GD have come back into the game strong now, and it's 8-8 with 7.5 minutes to go to the half. Yeah, it was a big hit by the 3, wasn't it, of GD, and that's the sort of aggressive defence we like to see. And that was coming over the right back to hit the centre back there as well. So they're clearly not afraid of leaving some space as they try and go for almost that hybrid 4-2, forcing the right wing shot. Very interesting, Ian, actually. They're forcing that right wing shot now, but they've closed the space up for the number 13, so they're not getting as much joy down that right-hand side. Now here we go, GD now, they've got the advantage here for the first time in this game. An opportunity to take the lead. Could it be a psychological blow for the Eagles if it happens? Here we go. They're trying to find the space, no way through, and the ball rolls over to the Eagles. What a manoeuvre. There's plenty of space over there on the right. Oh, and it's thrown just off to the right side of the post. It's missed. Yeah, that didn't look like the most flowing of fast breaks, was it? I mean, which is quite often what we say when they break quickly up the courts. And again, bit of a sort of almost early season nerves. I don't want to say nerves, but early season rustiness. And again, that's 3 in a row. 2 from West London Eagles, 1 from GD, where they just looked like they weren't quite on the same page. The rhythm isn't flowing just yet. I reckon after about, maybe even in the second half, after a couple of games, you won't see that very often from either of these teams. No, absolutely not. You are. Hello, but if you are just tuning in, hello, welcome to Gunnersbury Park Sports Hub. It is the West London Eagles taking on London GD. Eagles in the blue, GD in the red. It's the opening game of the season of the Women's Premier Handball League, and we are live, as you can see. It is firmly locked together. 8-8. Nothing to choose between these two teams. But there's a bit of a difference now, because it's GD for the first time in this game taking the lead. Yeah, a little bit of a muted reaction, I'd say, but there is a long way to go in this game. I think that was the number 18, Eva Solanas, who was acting on the right wing there for the left-hander. Good finish as well. Difficult to get the space. West London Eagles have done well to mark the wingers and keep them quiet for GD, but that time they got through. There's another opportunity here from the right wing, and it's a good save this time. And we're starting to see what I meant earlier on about being a right-hander on the right wing. Difficult to score from that. Witowska, unfortunately, not been able to get through either of the occasions she's got through in the last 2 attacks. Yeah, so here we go, GD really now looking to assert their authority, and they do as well. She broke through the tackle there, and the defender knew that she was going to get a suspension or potentially a penalty away if she carried on the tackle, so she let it go. And the Great Danes, number 3, just managed to wiggle their way through and take advantage of that lapsed bit of concentration, make the goal count. I'm all right, I think GD were down a player as well, weren't they? For a bit, is that right? Weren't GD not down a player for 2 minutes? The West London Eagles were a couple of minutes ago. Oh, apologies, yes. So there you go. But they're well back here. That was about 6-7 minutes ago. It's again some early season rustiness. There's a charging foul, turnover ball for Great Dane. Can they find the right pass? And it's a good save, and it potentially wasn't quite the right pass. Maybe we needed one more from the 77 to move it over to the other side of the court, but it was always going to be a little bit difficult. It's easy to save from our perspective up on this gantry.
Of course it is, absolutely. Now, if you are liking what you've seen so far, don't forget, head over to the England Handball website. There is a link in the body of this broadcast wherever you're watching it. If you want to find out more about the men's and women's Premier Handball League, or you want to find if there's a club local to you or how to get into the game, please do check it out. Also, make sure you watch more live sport. Head over to Live Sport Now on YouTube. Also a link in the body of this broadcast. Make sure you hit subscribe, and also subscribe to the England Handball YouTube channel too, as the Eagles pull one back.
Yeah, good movement of the body there, almost faking the defender as you go to the left-hand side, freeing up her right arm. And although under contact, still managing to get that shot away. It's all about fine margins in this level of handball. You really need to get your shooting arm free, and if you're on 6 metres, you're probably still expected to score, even if you're still under contact. Forcing the ball there, almost, but it's a bit of a force.
It was a good idea, nice idea. So here we go, approaching half-time now. We've got just over 3 minutes left on the clock before the half-time buzzer will go.
GD have definitely got themselves back into it, but they'll probably be disappointed that they needed to at all. West London Eagles with a strong defence, moving to the left wing, and another goal for the number 3 of London GD. We've said her name already, as Teresa Perez, certainly stamping her mark on this particular game and enjoying herself out there.
Well, I'll tell you, that's one for the highlights reel later, isn't it?
It was good movement by GD, to be fair, in all, to try and get her free, and there was a lot of space once they did so. Oh, good step by the 8. Thought there was a potential travel, and another save by the goalkeeper of GD.
We've got, it looks like we've got a bit of a GD fan club going on over here as well.
We're definitely in the middle of the home and away end here. Hopefully it doesn't get too brutal.
We're separating them. We're separating them. I must say, it's all friendly, of course. It's great to see so much support for the top flight of handball here in England. Good stuff. It's GD with the ball. They've turned this game around. They were 4-0 down at one point. They now lead 11-9 against the West London Eagles. GD in the red, Eagles in the blue, and it's GD once again on the attack. London Great Dane, now actually formed as the Great Dane Handball Club all the way back in 1976, 2010. They changed their name to London GD.
Interesting tactics of what they're trying to pull off here as well. They've decided to go, instead of the traditional sort of 2 wingers, 2 backcourt players and a centre and a line, they're going for 2 line players and always having a right wing and then 3 backcourt players. Sort of, to me, that compresses the defence of West London Eagles, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. It wasn't a tactic I ever employed as a coach or player, but there was a charging foul there. She ducked down, put her shoulder in. West London Eagles read that one was coming, and they can break up the court now, but it looks like they're just thinking about slowing it down. As McDonald has the opportunity for a shot. You don't give her the opportunity for a shot. We've seen that already.
What an absolute cracker that was as well. And suddenly there's only one in it as we approach half-time here. Eagles 10, GD 11. This is going to be another tight one like we saw earlier on last season, didn't we? Back in January when it finished 25-all.
Yeah, it's going to be close on who's the louder fans as well. We've already mentioned we've got West London Eagles fans on chairs on our left-hand side, and we've got GD fans shouting and chanting on our right as well. As good defence by the West London Eagles. They haven't employed that 2-line attack yet, but they might have time. Good attacking of the space, and again into the grinder of the West London Eagles defence. Can't get through.
No, looks like we've got a bit of a knock there as well, haven't we? But they're okay. GD once again on the attack. We've got less than 30 seconds on the clock. Not long to go. Is this going to be the last chance? Can Eagles tie it at the break?
Didn't actually see what that turnover was for. Was it passive play potentially, or we haven't seen passive play yet? And with only 12 seconds left, that's quite a long time when you're actually just rotating the ball. Trust me, you can probably get about 5 or 6 passes in. Create one good opportunity, but with only 3 seconds, McDonald gets the ball.
We've got to throw it.
I tell you what,
no goal.
No goal. The buzzer had gone, and tell you what, that would have been one hell of a goal to finish a half on. Would have been a hell of a goal to finish a game on as well, actually. But it's half time. It's 11 to GD. West London Eagles 10.
Yeah, it certainly is half time now. I was wondering actually if we can bring the camera around a little bit just to have a little look at everybody up here. This is how good it looks right now, isn't it? We've managed to base ourselves up at the gantry. We've got ourselves in the middle. Now I wonder if Paul would have a quick word with Paul. Are you busy? Have you got time for a very quick word? Because I know you're involved with the Eagles, aren't you? You've got to go. You've got to go. No, right. Paul Bray's got to go, but he's been involved with the Eagles. In fact, he co-formed GD as well back in 1976.
He's been everywhere, to be honest. I think Paul is one of the heartbeats of handball in Great Britain.
Yeah.
So it's brilliant to have him down at sort of, I suppose, the local level, considering this is the Premier League. I suppose you can't really argue it's the local level, but he's still involved with the clubs, even though he's been here, there and everywhere in Europe covering handball for God knows how many years now.
He certainly is. Now tell us, what did you make of that first half? Remember, you can see your comments, so please do comment below. We're on live, of course, at the England Handball Association YouTube, at Live Sport Now on YouTube, Facebook, we're on Twitter, Twitch,
we're everywhere.
LinkedIn. We're pretty much everywhere. Now, as you can see, let's just pop the camera down on the GD players as well, because they've stayed out, haven't they? If Eagles gone back into the changing rooms. Now, the coach has got to be delighted. They were 4-0 down at half time. After 4 or 5 minutes or so. They've really pulled this back, haven't they?
Yeah, well, I think, to be honest, if I know the GD setup at all, is actually they'll probably be less delighted by getting that goal difference back and more disappointed that they let it go in the first place. And they have done well, but now they've pretty much got it level. It's a new half. It's 30 minutes of handball that they feel like they've probably got the momentum for. And there's a little bit of rustiness out there, but that doesn't mean that they can't get this one back.
Now, let's talk England handball, because the Premier League has gone through a bit of a restructure, a bit of a change, hasn't it, over the summer, of course. Last season it was a national thing. Now it's gone regional, hasn't it? So we have the Men's and Women's Premier Handball League South and North. Let's have a look at the women's. We'll touch on the men's when we broadcast their game a little bit later. So this is the teams involved in the Women's Premier South. As you can see, Cambridge there, London GD, Arctic Falcons, I believe they're Medway, aren't they? Northampton Olympia, and as we can see, West London Eagles here as well. It's going to be a competitive division, isn't it? It's really nice to see them split, actually. For the North, of course, next month we'll be covering a North game. So we'll be either going to Birmingham or Liverpool or Loughborough or Manchester or Nottingham and Trafford as well, of course, Manchester too. Local one for you there, Jack? Which one's that?
Well, unfortunately, they're all about an hour and a half out of my way, but because there's nothing going on in Yorkshire, unfortunately, which is something that I'm hoping will change soon. But I think I personally grew up around Liverpool and Hawks, and always have good memories of the Liverpool International Handball Tournament, which is basically one of the biggest events on the handball calendar in England. Not actually, I don't know if it's backed or associated with England handball at all, but it's basically a big event where we have 2 or 3 days worth of handball, plenty of parties as well, and we invite people from all over Europe to try and get involved as well. It's so Liverpool Handball Club, I'd love to go back to Greenbank or wherever they play now and get involved in that.
Now, last time we were here, we actually filmed this game as well, didn't we? And it finished 25-all. Now the Eagles...
There's more space for left back gets in, it's a huge goal! 15 seconds, GD going back to Stein, wasn't through the centre, the referee's let it go, it's a good pass to the left wing, 5 seconds left, it's a save! West London Eagles storm the field, and I know why. I'm getting goosebumps. I can't imagine. It's only a draw, but a draw from 7 goals down at half time. It feels like a victory. Huge game. Huge goal. And in terms of championship and league tables, everyone will be watching that.
So there you go, that was the wild celebrations. That was back in January. Now, it looked like we're going to... It was, yeah. It looks like we're going to have scenes like that again in this game, aren't we? Now, that was the Eagles equalising right at the end and then stopping GD from going on to snatch a late winner. Means a lot, this game, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's they know each other very well. I was down there getting the score sheet filled in for us and our information, and the teams were going over to each other, shaking hands. They obviously know each other very well, especially the coaching setup and everything like that. And handball is a very sort of close-knit community, regionally or even nationally, sort of thing. Everybody pretty much knows each other, and that does mean that you sort of, as you go on international breaks or as you go to these sort of tournaments or anything like that, you do get to know each other, and it sort of increases the rivalry in a friendly manner, hopefully.
It does,
and sort of builds an atmosphere as well between the two clubs. They obviously are desperate to beat each other, but the nice thing is, at the end of all that, they will have shaken hands and not necessarily gone to the pub or whatever, but it's they would have enjoyed themselves afterwards and had a chat about it with their friends.
Probably not go to the pub because you actually have to pay for parking here
That's
now
very
as
true.
well, which is a shame. We didn't have to last time. Now we've got a lot of fans knocking around, haven't we? I wonder. We've got. I think this chap over here is a bit of a GD fan. I'm just going to work around. GD fan? You're a GD fan? I think you've been quite vocal. You enjoying it?
I'm not GD fan. We're West London fans.
You're West London. What you made of the first half?
What do you think?
She's shy.
Quan is really good player.
Yeah.
Which number? Which kid number?
How nice is it to be able to come back and now the Premier League's back, be able to come and watch it?
Yeah, we wait for a long time.
Yeah.
Wait for the summer break and to come back for the league. Yeah. What do you think?
Don't have any comments.
No comment. No comment. Enjoy the second half. I promise we might not put the camera back on you. Might not. Maybe we will. People get nervous when you put a camera in front of them, Jack, don't they?
Well, absolutely. I do as well. You're just giving it back to me. I'm getting nervous now. I was trying to share out the link of the stream to everybody, but yeah, no, it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Maybe we'll try and catch a few interviews though with the players and the coaches afterwards, after the game. Obviously, we don't want to interrupt them whilst they're giving their team talks. That would be a bit weird. But we're hoping to have a few chats to a couple of people, and I was actually having a chat to a number of the coaches and staff while we were down there about the restructuring of the handball leagues and everything like that, and there was a little bit of a sort of mixed reception from them, but it's always a very interesting insight. They had sort of differing opinions on potentially why they've developed their opinions on it, and ultimately I think what England Handball have done, I mean, I haven't actually got in touch with them to speak to them about it, but from my perspective, the reason why they split these leagues is to try and minimise that travel time. People not wanting to commit their entire Saturdays, especially if you're in Manchester. Say Manchester Hawks, I think they were the only team in Manchester that was left in the Premier Division as of last year, and so that would have been a lot of weekends where they're travelling all the way down to London about 5 or 6 times a year, and then obviously those London teams having to travel all the way to Manchester. It does spend an entire Saturday doing that. It
does. You make a good point. Listen, the sport isn't a wash of money. This isn't the Premier League of football where there's money. In fact, the GD getting ready. Let's pop the camera on them whilst they are. But the sport isn't a wash of money, and actually, surely it makes sense because it's less money for the teams to have to spend out on travel. Cost of fuel, as we know, has gone up. I think it's a nice idea, and what we don't want, though, we do want a good mix of teams playing against each other. But the leagues are actually, if you look at it, I think there was only 4, 5, 6 teams last season in the Women's Premier Handball League. Now we've got 8, 9. So
yeah, I think for handball, I mean, COVID affected everything in the world, obviously. But one of the things that you might not think of straight away is the sort of participation in sport, and I think handball was hit quite hard by the effect of COVID for 1,000 reasons and another sort of thing, if you get what I mean. But that meant that potentially the participation had dropped down. When I was playing in the top division, which albeit was a very long time ago, it was called the Super 8 divisions, and that was because they had 8 teams in each division, and unfortunately circumstances and fit for play criteria meant that teams couldn't fulfil the fit for purpose criteria, and it just seemed to be dropping off just a touch. So they did need to do something to restructure it, and hopefully this is almost bringing it back to basics, and it'll kickstart, and we will see a national league some point soon, maybe in the next couple of years, once we get the strength and the depth of competition back up.
They were only arriving sort of 20 minutes before throw-off.
Well, one of the GD main coaches. Oh, sorry.
Right, here we are, Eagles back out onto the court now. They trail just by 1 in this game. It's West London Eagles 10, London GD 11. We're about to get things back underway. And if it's anything like the first half, you are in for a real treat. So do not go anywhere. Stay right here with us. Second half coming up live of the West London Eagles taking on London GD. Jack, prediction for this one. I always ask you this. Will Eagles get it? Will it be a draw? Can London GD just round home? They've really come to the fore in the last 15-20 minutes, haven't they?
I think you tried to get me to answer this question about 15 times the last time they met,
Yep.
and I think I was able to sit on the fence for the majority of the time. I'm going to attempt to do the same thing now. It's going to be... I mean, it's too tight to call, isn't it? We saw West London Eagles come out of the block stronger, even though potentially we expected GD to be the overall sort of slightly stronger package, as we saw last time we were here. But then they've both shown character both times we've seen them already. So I'm hoping it's going to be tight. And to be honest, I wouldn't be disappointed if we see a last-second buzzer beater or last-second goal to win the game. But it's... If you held a gun to my head, I would say probably GD would be the sort of favourable choice. I'd say still. Being a goal up as well, they can control the first periods of the game a little bit harder.
Yeah, absolutely. There was the clock on the screen there. 30 to go in this game. About to get things underway. I can see Zoran there just running over. Of course, GD men's coach. We'll catch up with him a little bit later. At the end of this game, of course, we will go down onto the court and see if we can grab a word with some of the players for your post-game live reaction here at Gunnersbury Park. It's finally poised. West London Eagles 10, London GD 11. Eagles in blue, GD in red. Don't forget, have your say, comment below. We can see your comments. We're on the England Handball Association YouTube channel, at Live Sport Now on YouTube, or across Facebook, Twitter, Twitch and LinkedIn. There is no excuse not to be watching this. Please do share it as well. Like, have your say, comment and share as well. Let's get handball shown to as many people as possible.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity this year to share the sport with your friends and family. I mean, when we announced it the other day that we were covering the England Handball League, we had quite a few messages from people saying that they have a daughter or they have a son who lives in the UK, but they live in, say, Norway or elsewhere in Europe, and they always wanted to watch how they get on but never been able to. Now's their opportunity. So hopefully you've been sharing it around your friends and family as well, and enjoying the sport, because it's been a good game so far, and it looks like it's going to start a good game in the second half as well. Good save by the West London Eagles keeper. Started off with where they left off.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff indeed. 29 minutes of intense handball action. This matters. It's the opening game of the Women's Premier Handball League season here for the Premier South. This is the Eagles up in Gunnersbury Park Sports Hub taking on London GD. Eagles finished third in the championship last season. GD finishing in fourth. So as you can see, a tight between them. Good competition. In fact, very, very close-knit game this, isn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately we have to take those results with a little bit of a pinch of salt now. They're in a slightly different league structure as another shot goes wide there. So we would probably expect, even though they finished third and fourth last year, we're expecting these two to probably finish somewhere in the top three again, with Olympia as well in the South Division, with a good shot and a good goal. It's the number 18 for GD, I believe, already scored a couple.
Some comments come in as well. I'll run through those very shortly with you as the Eagles, GD take a 2-goal lead for the first time in this game.
Yeah, Salinas on the right wing there, just managing to get a little bit more space and sink in the shot. You have to be quite smart when you're shooting from the wings, whether you can see the gap, tiniest of gaps underneath the goalkeeper's arms or legs, as they're employing another attempt at this two-line defence. Very wide line players, all the way on the wing defenders, leaving the backcourt players to have to do quite a lot of movement, a lot of ball movement, trying to move the defenders around and expose the wing. West London Eagles are through in the fast break. It's a little bit scrappy, but it sneaks its way in. And there is some very excited, in fact, exactly the people you were saying are shy, camera shy before, now screaming their heads off.
They are. They're not shy anymore. As you saw, we just put on their messages of support coming in. If you want to have your message shown on screen, head over to YouTube, the best place to do it. We're on the England Handball Association or at Live Sport Now. Make sure you hit subscribe to both as well and have your message of support shown on screen. We can see them. This is your show too. We want to hear from you. Stage Pro Academy, Warrington, apologies, have said love it. Keep your comments coming in. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you're sort of keeping an eye on the YouTube chat, aren't you, and everything that's going on the screens, and trying to keep an eye on the handball news. I don't get
the score as
yes.
well. So my knees are going to be absolutely shattered by the end.
I was going to say, I think you need to bring a portable desk. I don't know what dining table you brought with you today. But
I did bring a dining table from home.
Good interception, and the fast break is on, and the number 7 for GD.
And that is Tanya Corti, isn't it? And she's absolutely nailed it. She's having a blinding game. Tanya Corti there. Really absolutely flying.
Yeah, loving that, isn't she? And there was a potential moment where I thought she was going to step in the area, but managed to check her feet just before she hit that 6 metre mark and was able to sink the ball into the corner. So West London Eagles scored 1 since the break. GD have scored 2. Not a massive margin, but again, showing that maybe the momentum that was at the end of the first half is carried over to the second as the Eagles again throw the ball away, and GD get us back going. And this time you can see they're visibly a little bit slower. They're going to build this up a little bit more, and that's because they've got a 2-goal lead, a little bit more control in the game, setting up their attack a little bit better, but doesn't mean it's always going to come off this time round. The Eagles turn it over. There's not many options in front of them as they try and break up the court.
No, they don't see the Eagles coach Paul Dempsey is really G-ing his team on. He's getting a little bit frustrated down there though, and you can sort of see why. Momentum's just seeping a little bit out of the Eagles at the minute, isn't it? But it's still time for them to get back into it. We saw last time out back in January against GD, they are very good in the closing stages, so don't rule this one just out yet. It's only a 2-point game, long way to go yet.
There is indeed, and again they've got their attack set up in the way they want it to, but again, leaving those wingers, especially that left winger, into the line is proving to be just narrowing the defence a little bit and forcing the GD having to force things. I'm sure there's an advantage to it, but I haven't seen too much of it so far as the 7 Tordy manages to squeeze through, Corti even, I keep getting the name wrong. Corti squeezes through the gap that time again and gets another goal for GD. So West London Eagles turn to try and wind themselves up, maybe shake off some cobwebs, get some confidence in the second half. Using some trigger movements, going to try and hit some gaps, but GD are not being moved around so much. I think West London Eagles playing a lot of the game quite far away from the GD defence, who aren't being as aggressive as they were in that first half, and that is how they nullified the early momentum. And that is what happens if you don't step up to them, though. West London Eagles find an opportunity to squeeze the shot through the gap, and that's exactly what the number 5 for Eagles have done. I believe that's Lucas Sabo. The only reason why I believe that is because that's the only name I haven't got a number for, and I haven't got a number 5 down here, so I'm going to guess that's Sabo.
Well, they needed that, didn't they, the Eagles? So will that kick-start their second half here? Still a long way to
good
go.
turnover, sorry, Ian, good turnover, but then throw the ball straight into the hands of the West London Eagles player, and then they throw it away. No, they don't. Oh, my days. They do need to calm this down a little bit. I know handball's a bit of a frantic game, but this West London Eagles, someone needs to take control of this game for them and get them back going.
Yeah, they certainly do, don't they? Eagles could really do with putting this one in. It's only a 2-point game, though. Very fine margins. What a lovely move. But tight angles again. And the keeper looked like she had it well covered.
Yeah, I think as a line player, I'm not a line player, but if my line player had that much space, I would be expecting them to be able to find a little bit of real estate in the goal around the keeper there, though. I'm sure they'll be slightly disappointed. They don't need to be reminded, though, especially the player Naomi Bell, although full well that's an opportunity missed. Lots of space there. GD got sucked along, following the ball and following the other players. Naomi Bell with some good line movement, just couldn't sink the shots. As GD turn over, there's a fast break on. McDonald's is through, normally so reliable. Maybe got the steps a little bit mixed up and had to rush the shot.
My word, what a save that was, though. Keeper has been on fire. Right, here we go, GD. Chance to make it a 3-point game now. Still plenty of time left in this game, 23 minutes or so left. So there's still a lot of action left to come. Remember, the 30-minute halves, our total game time. But they do, what a God, that just creeps in. There's one for the highlights.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan of that. I love one that goes in the postage stamp. And yeah, 18, mentioned them a couple of times already, selling us. Absolutely, some people hate the term, Ian, sticking it in the top bins. It's straight in there, postcard stuff, love it.
This isn't football, Jack.
Oh, I'm aware, but there's still a bin in there somewhere, I reckon. There's Naomi Bell, not messing around this time, the live player. six it in the back of the net to redeem themselves slightly from that earlier miss.
How important was that goal by the Eagles there, Jack? Because when you start to get to this point in the game, there's still plenty of time on the clock, over 20 minutes, but if you start to get a 4 or 5 point lead, suddenly that gap looks quite large, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and you're looking for a lot of strength of character to turn that kind of margin round. And from the right back, Quality is absolutely flying in this game from the right back with the right-hander. Has no right to score that one really, but found a gap underneath the keeper's legs. Yeah, no, you're looking for a lot of character in your team. As soon as you start going 4 or 5 goals down, you're starting to think maybe this game's going to get away from us slightly. It's a big ask to get it back. Not that we haven't seen it before in handball, obviously, but the gap is now 3. West London Eagles really don't want it to get any more than that, as a strong defence by the number 26 for GD.
No one's letting go of that, are they? And you're right, it's a 3-point game now in favour of GD. Still plenty of time left to go, though. Eagles will be looking to get back into this one quickly, but GD have the initiative once again. Can they make it a 4-point game? Tanya Coulty, number 7, surely been player of the game so far. I don't know what you think, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, it's she's been flying, to be honest, and breaking that aggressive defence. Eagles couldn't stop the ball, couldn't stop the flow. Courty managed to break through one, and all of a sudden they're always going to be a player or 2 down. There was actually an easier chance to the left-hand side. The player was a lot more free, but they didn't need it, and they managed to get that goal, and that does create a 4-goal deficit now. 17-13 to London GD. And I think there's going to be some harsh words that Paul Dempsey will probably have on the side, and I imagine some tactical changes. I think we've already seen a few of them, to be fair.
Yeah, we've only had 1 timeout in this game so far, haven't we? Does that surprise you?
Not so much, because the timeout was caused by West London Eagles when they started to lose that momentum. I suppose there was an argument to say that I was surprised that GD didn't call one earlier on in that game to try and sort of reset and gain that momentum back, but they were able to do that without the timeout, so you know, that's fine if you can do it without. I would be surprised if West London Eagles don't pull another one within the next couple of minutes, to be honest, and try and turn this game back into their momentum.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something, aren't we? Fairly soon, you would have to imagine. Time is not over yet, but they don't want this to start stretching for GD. What can they do here? Eagles, they're on the attack. That's Victoria there going for it. 21 out wide. Does it go in? Oh, and it finds a way through. Like you say, you shouldn't be scoring from that angle, but she's managed it.
Yeah, no, it's a good goal. GD were trying to close that down. I think maybe one of the sort of disadvantages that currently West London Eagles are playing with is having that right-hander on that right back side. They've moved the number 8 for Eagles. That's Victoria. From the left back to the right back. The problem is it's very difficult as a right-hander, especially if you're playing left back as normal, to sort of change everything. You almost, instead of stepping left constantly or stepping right constantly, you're doing it in a sort of different angle. It's very difficult to explain why it's harder. It just is harder. And I remember when I used to play, I was a left back, the centre, and all of a sudden for GB they started playing me at right back, and I couldn't do anything. It was an absolute nightmare, and it gets in your head, and it's a lot of a struggle. That is a really nice bit of play though, squeezing through the gap. That's exactly what West London Eagles need, a little bit of individualism to try and drag the team up, give them a little bit of a belief. And, well, the number 21, I believe that was, supplying that side there. That's Wing Han Kyoy doing a good job.
Right, we are in for a grandstand finish here. I feel this right now. This is reminiscent of last season's match between the Eagles and GD. Here we go. Here is the star player so far, number 7, Tanya Gordon. Now GD have an opportunity, and they make it a 3-point game once again. Wow, this is a thriller.
Yeah, and the crowd are already starting to get onto the back of the referees as well. There was a suspect of travel. It wasn't called, so GD managed to score. Good move through. And I was saying about how hard it is to go from left back to right back. And number 8 for West London Eagles, Victoria, absolutely showing me that is not the case as they step through and score.
The quickest of quick counter-attacks, that, isn't it? I didn't even manage to stand up in time between goals. Well, I'm changing the scoreboard.
That's true, actually. I didn't even realise it was a 4-goal deficit. Now it's down to 2, isn't it? So,
yeah,
with how many minutes left as well?
About 18 or so to go. Well, 17 enough.
Plenty of opportunities for this game to turn on its head again. Nice movement, but a slow ball movement though. Oh, slip there, and there was no foul, so the play carries on. Oh. That's a bit of a foul though, I would say. It's,
watching a bit of WWF here.
Well, I was going to say, in football though, everybody would have everybody would have thrown their heads around a little bit there, wouldn't they? Lost their, throw the toys out the pram is the what I was
They just
going
get
for.
up, don't
yeah,
they?
get up,
They just get up in handball.
Oh, that's in the area. That's the goalkeeper's ball. GD trying to be a little bit cheeky there. There's always going to be a keeper's ball though if you pick it up in the area. The ball gets moved to the left wing. That's the second time that number 9 has touched the ball. It's the second time that they've scored as well. Christina Littman. Nice goal there from the left wing, and again that turnover from GD being punished by West London Eagles. It's amazing, isn't it, how momentum plays such an important role in this sport, when especially when two teams are so closely matched.
Well, it's just a one-point game again. I mean, this is just, the pendulum is swinging all throughout, isn't it? What a
good
great
step
effort for the game, and what a great goal as well.
The best thing about that was probably the line movement as well, to be honest. It was a good block from them, able to give their left back enough space to step into, fake the defender out of the way, and then score the relatively easy goal, unopposed. Victoria trying to find that move, actually just using the left hand to move it, move the ball a little bit quicker.
No way through the centre, it looks like there's it. So trying to find a way through, surely out wide again. We saw the attack coming, keep out it well covered.
Yeah, it just looks a little bit awkward on that side, doesn't it, at the moment? They're not quite as fluid as they were before when they had McDonald, the left-hander, on there. And I'm not entirely sure that McDonald was off the court because he needed a little bit of a rest, trying to rotate players. Maybe it wasn't working as well earlier on. Whatever they're doing, to be fair, they have got back into this game, so I'm not going to argue against Paul Dempsey here.
No, well, he's a coach who certainly knows what he's doing, doesn't he, does Paul? We'll grab a word of him after this game as well.
Oh, good movement. There's lots of space for the left winger. Oh! GD find it, because of course they do.
GD taking the initiative once again here.
That's Christina Lopez. I don't believe we mentioned that much over the course of the game. Good goal, good finish that by the left winger. West London Eagles slowing it down. Now you might be able to see the number 20 for Eagles. It's the centre, as Kiao Quinn Lung. Holding up two fingers, sometimes holding up one. That's to call a play-in, so that's to allow us, their team to know exactly the movement that's going to be going on. And what they want from the rest of the team is the penalty and the 2-minute suspensions. Well.
So let's stop that clock. It's a timeout. And when you said holding up, oh sorry, is it? No, it's not. It's a penalty.
It's a penalty. So they've issued a 2-minute suspension. They did stop the clock for it.
They have stopped the clock though. So
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It'll restart as soon as the whistle is blown for the penalty.
Okay, off we go again. And it's Eagles once again. There we go. When you were saying, Jack, there about sticking two fingers up.
Oh yes, yeah, no, it's not in a rude manner, in a controlling manner, shall we say. Calling basically play number 2, and that's so everybody knows what the centre wants them to do. It's certain crosses, certain ball movement, whether they get 2 lines in. Sort of those trigger movements that allows them to open the space up. Doesn't always work. It's quite hard, but
was that not a goal there, Jack? Scoreboard still saying 17-20. I thought it was 18.
It should have been, and they've just scored another one as well on the fast break. Now there's a timeout because they're just checking that the player is okay, and they want to.
I think they're checking the scoreboard as well. So if we just stop the clock.
Yeah, they just added that. So it's 19-20, 20 to Great Dane.
I can hear the people on the left as well giving it a cheer. Look there. So yes, it is 19.
At least they know what's going on, even if we don't.
Yes, confirmation. It is West London Eagles 19, London GD 20. And as we enter into just 14 minutes of this game left to go, it's a 1-point game. This is absolutely breathless, isn't it, Jack?
Well, it was quite interesting when we came in after half time and GD were 1 goal up, and then all of a sudden they pulled away. West London Eagles come back, and we're going into the last quarter almost, and we're in exactly the same position as we were going into the second quarter. The third quarter. So it's on a knife edge a little bit, which is what we like to see. And I'm hoping, Ian, for your sake, because I'm not here, and for everybody at home's sake, that the men's game straight after this is going to be just as competitive.
Yes, I imagine. It will be. I mean, last season there was a slight difference in quality, shall we say, to be fair, between the Eagles and GD. But they've had the summer to regroup, and we're going to see in the game a little bit later. I don't think you're going to be able to join us for that, though, are you, Jack?
No, unfortunately, I'm not.
No.
So good luck doing that and the scoreboard and everything else on top of it. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah,
maybe
please.
Paul Bray will give you a hand. We'll never know.
I hope so, yeah. I'm sure somebody will. There's a lot of good people up here in the balcony. Like I said, we are at Gunnersbury Park Sports Hub. It's the West London Eagles in blue taking on London GD. It's a 1-point game in favour of GD at the minute. Remember, we are live across social media and the England Handball Association social media. There is a link in this body of this broadcast. Takes you through to the England Handball website. Do give it a click if you want to find out more about the Premier League, or you want to find out about the regional leagues, you want to find out about how you can get involved in this incredible sport. Please do check it out. Give it a click. And this is surely what a rebound and what a goal. And it's a tie.
It's a tie game at the moment. Yeah, as Ian mentioned, if you're actually around and you're sort of itching to get down and join the atmosphere here at Gunnersbury Park, if you're within half a mile and you set off now, you might be able to catch the last 5 minutes of the men's game. The traffic's that bad.
Traffic is bad. We do warn you, yes. If you're local, set off now. If you're not local, if you could reverse time and set off about an hour ago. A rail strike, of course, in London today has caused chaos across the road network. But if you're within walking distance, get yourself down because it's well worth it.
It absolutely is, and that goes for any Premier League handball, any handball actually in England. It's the atmosphere is buzzing here, and actually I was wondering where all these cowbells and everything are coming from. You might not be able to hear on stream, but certainly creating an atmosphere for us. I'm actually down below, just off the court. I think a lot of the GD and the West London Eagle men's players trying to help their team on, spur them on as much as possible, as we do have the double header here, like we mentioned already quite a few times. Paul Dempsey on the sideline, barking orders at the defence of the West London Eagles, and it's worked because they've managed to cause a turnover and a fast break for the 20. Great hands, and West London Eagles are leading. For the first time, Ian, since the beginning of this game, West London Eagles have turned it around, and it's a 21-20 game with 12 minutes to go.
I'll tell you what, Jack, if you are just tuning in to handball for the first time, you could not have picked a better game.
No, it's absolutely brilliant, and we picked it for our first live stream game. We picked it for the first game of the season as well. It's, I mean, we picked them well, and hopefully we'll be back here later in the season between those two. It's a good save there by the West London Eagles, who pings the fast break right into the... Oh, that's going to be double dribble if nothing else. And that's a shame. West London Eagles almost had an opportunity to go 2 up, and you can tell that even though it maybe Paul Dempsey will probably like to calm it down and take control of the game, the players want to push their advantage while they've got it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been swings around about. The pendulum has swung in this game. A reminder of what's happened so far. Eagles took a 4-0 lead in the very early stages of this game, but it was actually GD who led at the break by 1. And in fact, GD got up to a four-point lead at one point, I think, didn't they? Yes, Jack, they did. Suddenly, Eagles have come back into it, and they now lead by 1. We've got just over 10 minutes left to go. I have no idea what's going to happen, and I'm so happy we're able to see it live.
Yeah, but hopefully everybody else has no idea either. I mean, you'd have to be a very strong-minded individual to try and guess this game either way, I would say. And
my word, yes.
There's lots of individual errors though, aren't there? And that's not because the attacking teams have any poor quality at all. It's more the defensive teams forcing it now. As GD there's almost a turnover there for GD, a potential fast break of West London Eagles. This is their opportunity to slow the game down, set things up, and the centre is doing exactly that by calling play number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eagles can take a big initiative here, make this a 2-point game in their favour. It really has changed. They started off strong, then dropped the ball a little bit short, excuse the pun, but they've come back into the game, and now it's the Eagles who lead with the ball.
Yeah, but this passive play, they probably had 2 or 3 passes. That means they've only got 3 or 4 passes left before they've got the ball turned over. So there's going to have to be a big shot from this one. No, the ball gets turned over. They don't. That's very rare that you see that in passive play, actually. Clearly there was a lack of communication or a lack of awareness, and so they didn't take that shot, and the ball just gets turned over cheaply.
Yeah, good stuff, Jay. It's a pleasure to have you with us again. Of course, hopefully you're going to join us up north next month, aren't you, for our selected game?
Absolutely, and the Handball Highlight Show as well, which we haven't mentioned that much, we only mentioned once. But the game's been so exciting, it keeps interrupting us. How rude of them.
We obviously need the game to finish so we can actually talk.
Yeah, I know. Rather than shouting with these fans next to us. But we don't mind that, to be honest. I'd happily go home with a lost voice if it meant an exciting day of handball.
Yeah, it's been a thriller already. This is the Women's Premier Handball League, the opening game of the season. West London Eagles in blue, London GD in red. As you can see, GD looking to get the ball on the attack and level this game. It's 21 to the Eagles, 20 to London GD. And we have a timeout, so let's stop the clock. And it's timeout here. I'm not too sure who called it, actually, Jack, if you can...
I'm not 100% either. I would probably say it would have been a GD timeout. Actually, it has to be a GD timeout because they have the ball, of course. That's a rule in handball.
Of course, yeah. There you go.
You can tell I haven't played for a while, can't you?
Problem there,
yeah, so you can only call a timeout if your team actually physically has the ball in their hands. So it will have been a GD timeout.
So do comment below, and we can see your comments wherever you're watching from. You've shown a few on screen already. We want to hear from you. What have you made of this game so far? It's been a real great advert, hasn't it, for handball here in England. We're trying to make the game more visible for people, more accessible. Don't forget there is a link in the body of this broadcast, takes you straight through to the England Handball Association website. Do give it a click, and if you want to watch more live handball, please do make sure you subscribe to Live Sport Now on YouTube. There's a link in the body of this broadcast and the England Handball Association YouTube channels as well. As we said before, Jack, we were interrupted by the thrilling action on the court. The Handball Hits show, that will be coming at the end of this month, around about the 29th of October. We'll let you know more about it as and when it comes on. It's your monthly fix of handball. Think match of the day, only handball, and that's the Handball Hits show.
Yeah, basically, it's our version of match of the day. It's like a podcast / match of the day hybrid, isn't it? Is the way I sort of describe it.
You'll be able to see highlights of this game, of course, and hear from the players and coaches. We'll have special guests on board.
Exactly, so we're hoping we'll have Paul Dempsey, maybe a few of the London GD coaches as well. And what we want as well is if anybody else is out there filming their own game, so Hawks versus Nottingham are filming their game, and we want that footage as well because we want to try and be able to show a little bit to highlight. As that one with a powerful run through for GD, but there was a shove by the line player on West London Eagles, which means it was a turnover for charging. And on the counter, they look like they're trying to take advantage. There was an opportunity to move the ball to the right wing there. They get there eventually, and McDonald can't quite squeeze a shot in. Good dive. Oh, borderline for a pass back there. Really good play by the keeper.
Yeah, it certainly was. And good point you were making there, actually. If you are at a game this weekend, please do send your pictures in. Head over to Live Sport Now on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Send us your pictures. We will show them in the Handball Hits. So get your best handball pictures over to us. Live Sport Now on Facebook, and we will, or Twitter, or YouTube, wherever. Get in touch with us. www.livesportnow.uk. You can contact us on the website too. Send us your photos in. We'll show them in the monthly show.
Oh, great save. And yeah, with the plugs done and dusted for the next 7.5 minutes, Ian, I think we're going to have to focus on what's going on the court because it's just getting more and more heated, isn't it? I mean, we would love to have a little bit of 2 minutes maybe to give you a calm recollection of everything that's going on in England handball and broadcasting and everything like that. But yeah, as I said before, West London Eagles and GD, they just seem to be rude enough to be more exciting than what we've got to say as they try and move the ball from the right wing.
How dare the on-course action be more exciting than you and me?
It's as if people have tuned in to watch handball and not listen to us too. It's shockingly rude.
I think we're more in danger of people tuning off than listening to us.
Oh, people have got it definitely on muted, I reckon.
Yeah, probably.
Loads of space on the right wing. They move the ball, maybe not quite as quickly as they were hoping. GD have gone for a more aggressive 3-2-1 defence now as they try to squeeze through. Doesn't quite happen. You can see there's a big change in the GD defence now, though. They were 6-0. They were happy to sit back at the beginning of this half when they had the lead. Now they're chasing the game slightly. They're going for a more aggressive defence as the corner gets called for West London Eagles. If you're unaware of why that's a corner in summer goal kicks or goal throws, I should say, I don't really know what the terminology actually is. If it hits the defender and then goes out, it's a corner and it's a wide. Whereas if it just gets shot wide or the keeper touches it and it goes behind, then it's a goalkeeper's ball, and that's 21 for West London Eagles. Throwing the ball wide is GD with a powerful shot, a powerful jump, an all-round powerful goal gets them back on level terms.
Well, that was incredible, wasn't it? We have a tie at the minute. It's Eagles 21, GD 21 as we start to approach the closing stage of this game. No points for guessing who the people on our right support. They were booze all round as that one went in. we've got Eagles players. We've got the men's Eagle players around us as well, haven't we? Because they throw off at 4:30. We'll be live for that one once this game finishes. But of course, we're going to get on the court straight after this game and get immediate post-game reaction for you from
loads
the
of space. Loads of, I mean, she just gone. Confident was higher. I think that was close guard. It was the player, the number 21 for GD. That time, if anything, an easier chance in, but put wide at the end.
What is it about these two teams? 25 all last time they met. It's 21 all now. They just produce absolute crackers, don't they?
They do indeed, yeah. And, as we've said before, it's one of the reasons why we chose to come down and support them and to broadcast them the first time. It's one of the reasons why they were the first names on our list, weren't they, when we wanted to do it this time round?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very good choice. Of course, next month we'll be heading north for your live men's and women's Premier Handball League on-court action. Yes, we're going to be live throughout the course of the season.
That one looked like it. I think there was a travel. Yeah, travel, the referee's indicating, but it could have been a bit nasty, that one. It was good foot movement in defence to try and stay in between the ball and the goal. Otherwise, it could have been a really dangerous tackle in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. So GD on the attack. Can they take the lead? We've got 4.5 minutes left to go of this game. That is it. Not long.
Oh, we got a 2-minute suspension here. A vital time, Ian. With only, 4.5 minutes to go. A 2-minute suspension could be really costly for West London Eagles. It was for holding the player while they were trying to spin and shoot. I'm not sure if the player was actually in the penalty area, and that would be the real reason why they would get the 2 minutes, but there we go. The referees probably know a bit more than us, so they have probably a better angle anyway.
The Eagles are going to have to play 50% of the remainder of this game. Oh! Down a player. My word, it's cheers all round.
There's a let-off, Ian, I would say, isn't it? I mean, the keeper didn't have to make the save. She has already made a fair few penalty saves, but wasn't called into action as closely then as the post came to the aid. Or was GD trying to... Oh, there's a timeout for some reason.
Timeout. If we stop the clock for a moment.
Well, that killed the atmosphere pretty much instantly, didn't it?
I've never seen an atmosphere and noise levels just drop so suddenly. You know.
And they've turned the ball over. And I'm not really sure why, Ian. I've played this sport for about 10 years and I can't really figure that one out.
Well, if you don't know, Jack.
I'm expecting you to know, Ian. You've covered about 4 handball games, haven't you?
well, don't forget we did the National Cup.
Oh, we did do that. That was about 12 games.
So I think this is about my 18th game now in total, or 21st game in total or something. Yeah, if you are just coming back, well, we're in the very closing stages of this game. It's still opening weekend.
Travel.
And it's a travel, so no, it doesn't count. It stays 21-all. It's the opening weekend of the men's and women's Premier Handball League season for the 2022-23 campaign. This is West London Eagles in blue taking on London GD. We've got 3.5 minutes left on the clock. That is it, and it's tied 21-all. Nothing to separate these two at the minute. Eagles on the ball, on the attack. It's now or never, isn't it, Jack? It's full throttle. Here we go. This is handball at its very, very best. What can the Eagles do? Is there a gap? Oh, and there's a goal.
That is a killer. Well, it's not a killer for GD, but it certainly doesn't help. They turn the ball over, having a goal-scoring opportunity themselves. The ball goes up the other end, and even though GD have a player advantage, McDonald manages to find the space and get the ball into the bottom corner. It's 22-21. They're still going to be down a player for the next minute or so. GD absolutely need to take advantage, and they don't. A great save yet again by the 16 West London Eagles, Erica Hodgson, which, I mean, she's up for player of the match for West London Eagles, I would say. In terms of GD, I think it was probably still on Courty, potentially. Well, we'll be able to. So hopefully I'll be running down and having a chat to a couple of the people as West London Eagles are back to full strength now. Moving the ball out to the right wing. McDonald with that left hand, deadly with it. 21 trying to squeeze their way through, but into 3 GD defenders. Good movement there for the defence. Nice and aggressive. Look how high up they are, playing a 4-2 almost on the left back and the centre back. McDonald now getting forced back as he tries to wiggle round. Telling him to get up. They're giving the foul. She keeps the ball. 2 minutes to go, Ian.
Yeah, I don't know how to call this one, to be honest. I feel if Eagles get this one here, what a performance this has been in the last couple of minutes, down a player as well. It's been resilient. It's been hard-hitting, hasn't it? The Eagles, they clearly want this.
Yeah, I think they actually won that period of 2 minutes. A player down, I think they won the period by 1. That's passive play, which means they have to take the shot. And the save comes from GD's number 1. That's Nicola oh dear, I apologise for this in advance. Zoziblo, I'm going to go for. It's handwritten, and I can't quite read it. But GD up the other end with the left wing, and that one is saved.
That could be the match-winning save. That could be the match-winning save. So, Jack, we are in the closing stages. Who's your player of the game?
Oh, I would say Corty for GD. Has definitely been influential from that right back, but that right hand very difficult, but she's made an influence from left back and centre as well. McDonald's played very well for West London Eagles. I can stop rushing my analysis of player of the game because they've just given a timeout with 59 seconds
so let's
left.
Stop the clock.
59 seconds of the clock on in the stadium. 1 goal the difference. It's currently West London Eagles who lead the way. And as I said, in terms of player of the match for each Ian, I think Hoddesy in goal for West London Eagles has definitely been up there. McDonald has been up there as well. We mentioned Veronica quite a few times, the number 8. I think between those 3, probably the goalkeepers come in clutch quite a few times for them. McDonald with a few long ones, so I'll let you decide in a couple of minutes' time maybe which one you want to give player of the match for West London Eagles on that one. And as I said, for me, Corty, the number 7 for GD, been very influential in this game. There's been quite a few for GD, but overall they probably had the slightly better team performances and less individual, whereas West London Eagles, a few of their individuals have really dragged them out of some sticky situations. So I'd probably go for me, the goalkeeper Hoddesy for West London Eagles, an early penalty save, and since then has been really strong in goal.
Fantastic, good stuff indeed, Jack. Yes, there they are, your players of the match. Tanya Corty for London GD, and sorry, I don't have the name in front of me. Erica Hodosi for West London Eagles.
Yeah, so with 50-odd seconds left, West London Eagles had their hands on the ball. Really aggressive defence by GG, trying to get the ball turned over out to the left wing. Ball goes in the net, but the whistle had already gone, but the time doesn't stop.
No, we keep going. Yeah, time carries on. We're in the final minute. That's why we've not got the clock on anymore. Final minute of this game. In fact, final 30 seconds.
Oh, it's turned over.
GD break. Surely can they score? They can do this. We're going to at least have a tie. What's happened?
They didn't. They just started dribbling at the court and they didn't take the free throw.
It's last chance saloon here for GD to tie this game. Can they do it right at the death?
And they call a timeout.
And there's a timeout, so the clock will stop. Again, there is a timeout. The clock has stopped. My word, we have literally 18 seconds left. That is it. 18 seconds left on the clock.
Well, I think that one was a sensible call, really. They'd ran themselves into a corner. The GD players didn't really have a way out. They didn't have a clear shot. It would have been a scrappy shot at the end of that one, or the ball would have been turned over. So, call the timeout. Try and establish a game plan, try and establish a move. Try and take advantage of the fact that the last 18 seconds they have the ball in their hands. Yeah, great stuff indeed. Thanks everybody for watching, by the way. I really hope you've enjoyed the coverage. It's not over yet. At the end of this game, in 18 seconds time, Jack is going to head down onto the court, see if we can grab a word with the coaches, see if we can grab a quick word of Tanya Corty as well, our player of the match for GD. Erica Hodoso, of course, player of the match for the Eagles. Who are you picking out the two, though, for the overall? Tanya?
Yeah, I think I would go for Corty, to be honest. It's every time they break up the court, she's been an influence. It's almost gone through her exclusively. But with 18 seconds, the referees get us underway. An aggressive move on the right wing of the West London Eagles. They've gone for two line players. It hasn't worked perfectly every time as they force the ball to the line. There was a defender in the area, though. And it's a penalty.
Paul Dempsey smashes the other side of the court. It's a penalty. The clock has run out. Time has gone. This is to tie the game. Have you seen drama like this before? This is incredible.
Unfortunately, I have, because I've been involved in it. I've ended up on the losing side of a penalty at this stage in the game. And it's Corty.
It's Tanya Corty.
I'm already going to say it's already player of the match, so I'm not going to put that pressure on her. But Corty to draw the game for London GD here. She misses, they lose. She scores, they draw, and she scores. And yet again, for the second time, we've broadcasted West London Eagles, London GD, clash of the capital. It has ended
ended up in a draw and a red card shown late to, I believe, was that Paul Dempsey? Bit of drama late on. I don't know if you caught that on the stream. I think you did, actually. I've absolutely no idea why. But
You're going to head down, aren't you? Have a quick word. Give us a thumbs up when you get down there. But thank you so much for that. See me grab a word with Tanya Corti. What a game that is. It has finished Eagles 22, GD 22. We've got some staunch Eagles fans over off to my left who are not happy as well, by the way, we must say.
Facing the goal, how could that be a penalty?
Not happy, not happy. There you go. Well, GD equalised right at the end with a penalty. Jack is down on his way now to get some post-game reaction live, as you can see. I don't know if you heard that on the camera, but it shows the passion, doesn't it, of this sport. So Jack's going to make his way down. What a thriller that was. Player of the match as well, Tanya Corti. Congratulations to her for London GD. In fact, she was the one who just scored that. Looking here over to my left, there's a lot of talk, a lot of shouting going on. Jack's making his way down now. He's going to see if he can grab a word with, I don't know if he's going to be able to speak to Paul Dempsey. He looks absolutely distraught, the Eagles coach. Jack's down there now. I'm going to hand over to Jack Oliphant and he's going to chat to some of the players.
I don't know, am I live, Ian? Yeah, I'm live, okay. So I'm down here on the court, as you can see. The men will start to come in and start to warm up, so I might get hit by a handball, but we'll try and avoid that if we can. Naturally and understandably, the coaches are trying to have a little bit of a chat with their teams straight after such a high intense, high emotionally charged game, just as that one, but massive drama right at the end, and I know a few of the fans up there on the gantry, didn't want to say it too loudly because, well, I stood next to them, weren't agreeing entirely with the fact that it was a penalty, and in fact I can see they're still chatting to Ian as we're doing this down here. Now GD just finishing up, want to have a quick chat if we can with a few of the coaches, as now we do live stream these games. These coaches and everything, they have to be not media trained, but we have to warn them that we're going to have a quick chat with them. Come and have a quick chat, or are you okay for a quick chat, or are you going to have a quick photo? You need to get changed. 30 seconds? Go on then, 30 seconds. That was a very emotionally charged game right at the end there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't want to look. The penalty was a little bit too much, at the end. We defend pretty well the whole game, I think, both teams, because 22 goals was not too many. Proud for the trajectory we're doing this season. I think we're going to get far.
I was going to say, you were down 4 goals right at the beginning of the game. That's not very GD-esque. How was that for you?
No, I think normally it's the opposite. We start very high and then going down, but it's something that we're changing now, so it's good that we get back now into the game.
I was going to say, and your view on the penalty right at the end. We've had some controversial opinions potentially on whether it's a penalty or not by some of the fans up there. What was your view on it?
I didn't see if they were stepping into the line, but probably it was a penalty, because if the referee is that close, they say it's penalty. As long as you're stepping inside 6 meters, grabbing the line, it is a penalty. So I would think it is.
Well, fantastic. Nice to have a chat to you. Good luck for your game a little later on. I'll let you go and get changed. Just want to have a chat as well. We'll finish up with GD with our player of the match, Corti. Corti, player of the match. Are you okay to have a chat with us? That was, I've just asked them, very emotionally charged at the end there, and you were the one who had the responsibility of the penalty as well. How was that for you?
I mean, it was amazing. It was a lot of pressure, though. We were kind of like trying to drop the responsibility between each other, because it was like a few seconds left, but I'm glad we drew, glad we scored the last penalty, and the team played very well. We started really slow, like very slow. It took us 10 minutes to kind of wake up and get back in the game, but once we got there, we were on it, and we are proud of ourselves. It was our first game, so... I
was going to say, there was a little bit of rustiness from both sides, wasn't there, in terms of turning the ball over on fast breaks and everything like that. Is that just something that you think by the next game that'll be out of the system, then cobwebs blown away?
100%, yeah. This is the first game. Like, we need to get back into it after the long summer, and I'm sure for the next game, both teams are going to be much energy, much consistency and higher level.
I was going to say, this is a very high-level game for the new league format as well. Starting off very hard, haven't you, in terms of having to play West London Eagles. Was that something that sort of came into your head in the preparation for the game, or was it just like normal, you prepare exactly the same way?
We've been doing like a great preseason. We've been like training a lot, and like we weren't focusing maybe specifically on this team, but more on like our game, like our defense, our attack, and then like put that in place against who we play with, and let's go see how it goes with the next teams.
Well, it seems to have worked quite well. Congratulations on player of the match. Congratulations on the penalty at the end there as well. Fantastic. Well done to Tandy Corty. And now I will want to have a chat to Paul Dempsey if he's around. He's currently having a chat with his team members. I want to get an idea of what on earth went on right at the end there as well, because there was a card shown. I think it was red. Paul, are we okay to have a chat? First of all, that was a really good performance from both teams, wasn't it? And you guys came out the blocks really fast.
Yeah, we started off, our expectations were limited because of obviously the amount of players that we lost during the end of last season. So I think that we've actually done a fantastic job considering of those aspects. Obviously I was emotional at the end, but that's another story altogether. I felt that we deserved the win, that's why. Considering this team has been working extremely hard throughout the pre-season, which I'm aware of. So I'm nothing but full of praise for my players.
I was going to say, I'm going to have to ask you, because we are classed as the media here now and we like to stir the pot. What was your view on the penalty at the end? Because, as you said, I know you wanted the win and that's where the emotions came from, but what was your view now you've had a couple of minutes?
Obviously, I was emotional, but I believe that because of the position of the attacker at the time, the referee allowed her to retain the ball for too long before blowing the whistle, when the act of defence had already taken place. So if that had been called, that would have been a 9 metres. And in my book, then because he blew too late, in my opinion, that then enabled the foul to continue through a period of time it didn't need to go through. So that was my argument. Okay. So, but on a whole, I feel the referees were balanced with mistakes on both sides. So that's really my main gripe, because I felt that in such a a dramatic ending to the game, that they're the areas that make the difference of quality refereeing. But as I say, is that they're a good pairing of referees. So, I've apologised for my emotion, but I still stand by my opinion.
I was going to say that was very eloquently put, and I think a lot of football managers could probably take a lesson from that, to be honest. And at the end of the day, like you say, you want to win. This is a very competitive sport against close rivals as well in London GD. Last year, or last January, when we last covered this anyway, it was 25-all, a draw again. Slightly lower scoring this time round, but the emotion was just as high, wasn't it? That time it felt like you'd gotten the win by getting the draw. This time it felt like it got away from you. Is that just the relationship of playing with against London GD?
Yeah, I think GD and ourselves have got a lot of history. There's a lot of friendships between the clubs, as well as the passion to win. But I would say that obviously our club and GD have been running. We're 50 years old of this year, so GD is sort of not far behind that. So we've been playing against one another for a long time now. And as I say, there's passion always when we play one another, because it's just been historical, but always friends afterwards, I'd like to think, and well, I feel that way myself anyway.
I was going to say that's the nature of handball, isn't it? You want to win, but at the end of the day, everybody seems to get on. It's such a close-knit community in England.
Yeah, indeed. We're not a professional sport in this country, so people have to go and do their academics, they have to go to work the next day. So obviously there has to be a control on the level of intensity and passion within the game. But obviously everyone's fighting to win, so it gets near the mark. But in the end, the sport of handball is the type of sport where once you become a friend, you're a friend for life. People don't generally go their own ways; they stay in contact all the time.
Yeah, well, fantastic. We'd love to see the emotion, Paul, even if it got you in a little bit of trouble. But we'd love to see it, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Good time.
Cheers. Right, I think that's about all for me. I'm going to hand back to Ian to give a round out of the first game of the Women's Premier League season, and good luck for the men's.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jack Oliphant, so much for that one. Well, what a game it was there. It was West London Eagles 22, London GD 22. As you can see now, the men are just getting themselves warmed up. We are going to head off for a short break just whilst we reset up. Don't go too far. Make sure you come back to the England Handball Association YouTube channel, Live Sport Now on YouTube. There's a link in the body of this broadcast. Make sure you hit it. Hit subscribe to Live Sport Now. Watch your fix of handball, the men's and women's Premier League handball. When we come back, it will be the clash between West London Eagles